providing appropriate solutions for the students to study overseas. Now, our services are not restricted just for counseling or just for providing the services for the benefit of the students, but we provide end-to-end services, which is a uniqueness. So what is end-to-end? That means right from the time of profile shortlisting, SOPs, LORs, the entire process, scholarships, visas, post-landing, education loan, all these things are a part of our services. So this makes us unique. So about Interedwise, again, it's not just one city company. So we have presence in multiple cities, and we are also international. So recently we have started an office in the United Kingdom as well. So today, because of lockdown, many of us are at home, and I received a lot of requests from the educators and some of the students who are NEET aspirants who want to study overseas about the medical education. So adhering to their request, and there is a niche demand, understanding the niche demand for quality medical education, we have invited St. Martinus University, who is also a partner university, and we, being the India regional office of St. Martinus University, are very happy to have the senior member of the St. Martinus University on our board. So apart from Mr. Kamendra Dahat, who is our dynamic CEO, ever guiding and a very patient person, who is always looking for innovation, and my team members, we all welcome you participants from different parts of India today. And I'm very sure that this session will be a fruitful one. It will also make you think about why St. Martinus University, why medical education. There are a lot of misconceptions when we talk about medical education. People are confused. A lot of things are not yet clear. So today, get all your doubts clear. And with this, we welcome St. Martinus University on board today. So over to you. Mr. Kamendra, request please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Amol. And today we have Dr. Barata with us. So first of all, I welcome Dr. Barata.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're giving us your valuable time. First of all the people today, those are attending this webinar are professionals. They are the recruiter of the students, and few of them are like already finished their MBBS and looking forward for the post MBBS opportunity in USA. So we are going to cover today everything like what is the procedure and how to get admission for the MBBS, what are the visa procedure, what documents are required, and after that Dr. Barata will speak about why St. Martinus University and how they just groom the students over there, and how it is beneficial for the student to go for the USMLE preparation, and how is the success rate of the student. Yeah, basically, first of all, we'll start from here. This is the picture of the St. Martinus University Faculty of Medicine. This is a real building of St. Martinus University, which is spread in 20 acres of the land. Dr. Barata, am I right?
Now say that again, please. It's what?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't hear you, sir.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. How much is the area of the building?
It's probably around 20,000 square feet.
All right.
It's
okay,
huge.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And many people, they ask about the location of the Curacao. So we have given here maps so that you can explain to the students very well where it is located, and the flight. Many students, they ask what is the route, how we can go from India. So from Mumbai or Delhi airport, you can go to Amsterdam, that is in Netherlands. And from Amsterdam, you're having a flight for Curacao, Hato Airport. So from India, it's like India to Amsterdam and Amsterdam to Curacao. So this is the route, and journey hours are 18 hours. You need to travel 18 hours and maybe 4 to 5 hours sometime. Transit time is there. So you can guide accordingly to the students. This is how beautiful is the Curacao looks like. Willemstad, this is the capital of the Curacao. It's like very clean, and it's a multicolor city, like Dutch city, and the water is like say among the purest water of among 5% countries. This is the township, how it looks. So why medical school, international medical school? So basically I would like to tell you, we do conduct scholarship test, and we have scholarship available at St. Martinus University. Apart from that, St. Martinus University already giving you like say about 40% of subsidized fee structure. For other student, they are charging about say 88,000, but for Indian student, the fees is 55,000 only. So we can say affordable tuition fees as compared to the other universities, and as compared to the other university, those are providing US education system. And in very short time, student can complete their MD program. And basically, whenever student go to USA directly for the US education, US university, after pre-medical science, they need to pass MCAT, then only they can enroll for MD education. But here, MCAT is not a requirement to go for MD in Curacao, St. Martinus University. And of course, there is a shortage of the physician in USA. That's the reason there are many opportunities for international students to go for the residency and all. Increase in residency spots every year. Yes, if you see the graph, you can check every year there is an increase in the residency spots in USA. So highest IMG residency matching is like in 2018 since 1993. So I will show you the graph and you can check it. Even you can go to the Google and you can check it. So day by day, the residency, international medical graduate residency matching is increasing, and more international doctors are getting opportunity to work in USA as a doctor. So now it is approved, the program and university is approved and accepted by most of the countries in the world. US medical school curriculum, 4.5 years program. So there is a length of the program is very short, because you know in case of USA it takes 8 years, in case of UK degree takes 6 years, and even in case of India it takes 5.5 years. So in 4.5 years, student can complete Doctor of Medicine degree at St. Martinus University. Where 2 semesters per year. So we have 2 semesters, like it is semester system. So students have to complete their 2 semesters each year. Early start to USMLE preparation. So Dr. Barata will speak about this more later on. But yes, in the second semester, we start USMLE preparation for the students, and the personal attention given to the student by the professors to prepare for USMLE. Yes, very like say good question. Whenever student goes abroad, their parent asks to me, what about the food? So yes, don't worry, Indian food is available, and hostel facility is also available at St. Martinus University, and both veg and non-veg food is available in the campus. Students don't need to go outside to eat. So these are a few of the facts: when it is started, how old is the university, how many % of the graduates are working, and what is the passing rate of USMLE, and what is the highest USMLE score of the attendee. So it is 264. This is the old one. I think now there is a student who crossed to 70. Class size is very small, so personal attention is given to the student. Maximum 8 students per cadaver as per the US standards. So cadavers are available, and yes, each and every student will get chance of the dissection, and they can work on the cadaver. So there are only 8 students allotted 1 cadaver. Affiliated with yes, in Caribbean Hospital, All faculty members teaching basic medical sciences are MDs, Doctor of Medicine. Yes. So this is another picture of the university. It's very beautiful. This is how it's like classrooms, and you can see the flags. So from so many countries, we have international student. So in truly manner, student can get the international atmosphere in the campus. These are a few of the infrastructures like laboratories, histological lab is there. You can see. This is the classroom. Physiology class, anatomy class. So all the classrooms are having projector facility, and teachers, they are delivering lecture with the help of presentation. So it is audio visual, so it is very easy for the student to understand. This is the oath ceremony, white coat ceremony. So a lot of ceremonies are there. Now, this is the basically question of all the consultant. They're asking about how is the program, how journey starts. So let me finish this. Dr. Barata will put more light on it. So first of all, whenever student complete their 12th standard, so they can enter for the basic medical sciences. For Indian student, the program duration is 2.5 years in Curaçao. So student will go to the Curaçao and they will study basic medical sciences for 2.5 years. Then simultaneously student will prepare for USMLE step 1. Once student complete the USMLE step 1, university is having own hospital that is called PGH, Pontiac General Hospital in Michigan, USA. So where after passing USMLE step 1, student can go for the clinical rotation, and duration of the clinical rotation is about 72 weeks, where in USA student can complete that. And after that, student has to give USMLE step 2. So after the USMLE step 2 residency matching program start, and student has to select the specialization where they need to go for the master's degree, that is called residency, and then student can get admission. And whenever they start the residency, it is paid. They are getting stipend of about $50,000 per year. Here you can see the intakes. We have 3 intakes, that is spring semester, fall semester, and winter semester. So now most like say probable semester we have, that is September 2nd week of the September. So we have to focus on this intake. Yes. So again, here it is given the basic medical science 2.5 years. It is MD 0 to MD 4, and each is like say 20 weeks each. So each semester is like 20 weeks. Student need to spend there. The approach is tailored to see activities, learning, critical thinking. So I think Dr. Barata will explain this better than me, because he is the faculty member. So Dr. Barata, can you please take this?
Sure. So welcome. Good morning to everyone. And again, it's good to see you. So what we have tailored and architected on campus is when the students come to us, we put them into a augmented program. The augmented program does 2 things. It reinforces their basic science knowledge, wherein they must maintain and establish a fund of knowledge in order to be able to employ that knowledge in any clinical setting. But at the same time, we have the opportunity to start to educate them and groom them to be experts in the USMLE type of test preparation. So we don't just go through the basic science and then they take the prep. We do it in conjunction with our basic science curriculum, which is powerful. So let me put it into mathematical equation for you. Our program is 1 + 1 = 3. 3, because there's an augmentation and a synergistic component of the basic science with the clinical integration. I'm a professor of integrated clinical medicine on campus. So I take their basic knowledge and I turn it into a bridge program to make them competent and confident that when they see a patient, they're able to apply their knowledge. That is so important, and that's what we focus on. If I can add one thing, Mr. Dahat, in your slide, just to mention, which is probably the biggest thing that we offer, is we're the only Caribbean medical school that owns a hospital in the United States. Mr. Dahat referred to Pontiac General Hospital. We own that. Every other Caribbean medical school has affiliation agreements. We own that. And here's 2 major benefits that our students will achieve under that relationship. Number 1, they can go directly to our residency programs. We have family medicine and psychiatry. And number 2, if they go direct and get an invitation, if they show exemplary actions in the residency program, they bypass the match. They don't have to go through a match. This is very unique relationship that we have established. So if you can, Mr. Dahat, at the next presentation, put that on the top banner. We're the only Caribbean medical school that owns a hospital in the U.S.
Yes, definitely, sir.
That's huge, huge opportunity. So we have not only the academic component, but we also are very proud to say we have a very strong scholarly work and research program. And Mr. Dahat, if you can allow me to share the screen, I want to make a 1-slide presentation, which
Yes,
I
please.
mentioned last time.
Sure.
I mentioned last time, but I did not have the slide to show you. So let me go there, if I may. Can you give me the access, sir?
Yes, 1 second. I will stop it there and you can share it. Yes, please.
Thank
Please
you so
go.
much. Okay. So kindly let me do this. All right. So I had mentioned to you all that I'm an international author in degenerative brain diseases, neurodegenerative. And I mentioned to you, we just finished writing the manuscript. So what we have accomplished is very unique. I had set up a medical education series, an umbrella program, that all of our scholarly work gets channeled through that program under the SMU FOM medical division. So I have this is pre-market, it's not yet available, but this is my 2nd edition of my neurodegenerative book that I published originally back in 2001. I think I mentioned that to you last time. So I have assembled not only my work product, but I recruited 6 medical students to be part of this scholarly work project. Wow, how powerful is it to have a medical student's name on a book? And if you look at the bottom, I don't know if you know Martin and Sushwat, they're in PGH right now. They're doing their clinicals. They're amazing students, amazing. I want to harness their ability to join me in this effort. This is amazing. So this is going to be coming out very soon. If you Google my name or go on Amazon under books and type in my name, you'll see my 1st edition of this book. So, and by the way, that 1st edition is about $840. So if you buy that, I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll give you a free autograph, okay? But the thing is, there is power in publishing. There is power in recruiting the energy of the students to participate in world level publishing. So I just wanted to present that to you. So I will stop sharing the screen. All right. So another component is not only with the scholarly work, but we also have the research component. We have 3 studies ongoing right now in Curacao. Unfortunately, they've been suspended because of the COVID issue. but we are working very diligently in producing scholarly work on a research level. So we have that going for us. Another component I want to mention, if I may, is the student support services. We know that when they travel that long trip, and I know it's long because I went to medical school in the Philippines, and I'm from New York, that's about a 28-hour flight. I know how long that flight is. When they get to their destination in Curacao, we take care of them. And we want to make sure there's no cultural shock. And there's no, well, not no homesickness, but we want to decrease the level of homesicknesses. We have a mentorship program that's very powerful to support the students as they assimilate into the campus culture and assimilate into the curriculum. Because it can be very traumatic for students. I appreciate that. I've been in their shoes before. So we have this great program that supports them during their introductory process on campus. So that's basically the overview I wanted to offer to you. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to field them for you.
Yes, Dr. Barata will take you. The questions will be there. Definitely we'll take at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for a very good explanation and very useful information to our students and our partners. Yes. So friends, now say up to 2.5 years, student goes for the clinical clerkship of 72 weeks at Pontiac General Hospital. And yes, this is the only Caribbean school, their own hospital in USA, Michigan. The name of the hospital is Pontiac General Hospital. So this is the only school. That's the reason our students get 100% opportunities of going clinical, getting clinical rotation under one roof, because all the rotations are available at Pontiac General Hospitals. And here it is given like MD5, MD4, they will complete in Curaçao, and MD5 to MD10, they will complete the rotations in Pontiac General Hospital, and 12 weeks each rotation. So that's the reason it is 72 weeks, 6 into 12. Now, this is the very, very important part I'm going to cover now. That is the application procedure. So what is application procedure? So first of all, you need to apply online. Online application is available, and you need to pay the application fee, that is $125. After that, university will send you acceptance letters. After getting acceptance letter, you need to pay first installment of the tuition fee, that I will let you know later on, I think 9,600 something. And then we'll have to send the postal documents via courier to the university. And these postal documents are required for the immigration purpose. Then after 4 to 6 weeks, we'll receive landing permit. So immigration time is like 4 to 6 weeks. Then once you receive the landing permit, we need to pay second installment of the tuition fee, that is about 6,000. And with that, you need to pay living costs, that already is like I told you, that is 4,650 for 1 year, which includes 2 meals and all the utilities. Apart from that, you need to transfer the insurance fee, because to get immigration landing permit, student need to have insurance of that country. Then immigration fee, lab coats and scrubs. So lab coats and scrub is provided by the St. Martinus University, but for that student need to pay to the university. Then we'll apply for the Netherlands visa in India, and in about 1 week to 10 days, we'll get Netherlands visa stamp on the student passport, and then student can fly, they can book the ticket, and they can fly to Curaçao. And before that, we provide the pickup details to the student. Once they book the flight ticket, please send their flight ticket to us, concerned person. We'll send that to the university, and university will arrange accommodation as well as airport pickup facility to the student, and then report university as soon as possible. Second thing is like how to start. So this is also 12th standard PCB, physics, chemistry, biology, 50% marks. That is as per the MCI rule. And NEET 134. Or we do have disclaimer for the NEET. So even without NEET, student can go to the St. Martinus University. Only he has to sign disclaimer. Pre-medical science 6 months in Curaçao, basic medical science 2 years in Curaçao, and then student need to give NBME examination. This is the exit test, like National Board of Medical Examination, and student need to score 70% in this examination. Then only students are allowed to go to the Pontiac General Hospital for clinical rotation, where they can give USMLE step 1 prior going to the Pontiac General Hospital. We recommend that. Otherwise, student can go there, start their clinical rotation, and there also they can write USMLE step 1. So this is what in the 2 years. After that, NBME self-assessment examination, clinical skills student has to give, and then USMLE step 2, that is clinical skills and clinical knowledge. So these 2 states student have to give 2 parts in USMLE step 2. After that, Education Commission for the foreign medical graduate, this certification student will get, and hospital will help them, ECFMG certification, and residency matching program, hospital will help them or university will help them in that. Then the residency starts. So minimum residency duration is 3 years. What we say in India, masters in medicine, or maybe masters in surgery, MS or MD. And after that, student can appear for USMLE step 3. So this is the entire procedure. If you have any question, you can type question in question box. After that, this is a very, very, important part of documentation. If we miss even single documentation, university don't issue the offer letter, or immigration office don't issue landing permit, and again, visa office don't issue visa. So we should be very careful, and we have very hard working team to process the document and to guide about the document. So for application and acceptance letters, we need these documents: passport, first and last page, first information page and last address page of the student, passport. Second is 10th, 12th statement of marks, that is passing certificate. Then signed fee structure, that is available whenever you want, we can provide to you. Then MCI disclaimer and NIP scorecard. Application form and application fees. Letter of recommendation. Yeah, student need to get letter of recommendation, maybe from the doctor where they are doing shadowing, or maybe from the teachers of 10th standard or 12th standard where they are studying. Then statement of purpose. To student need to write why the medical profession they have chosen and how beneficial this is in their future life. Then 2 photographs at the time of application. Then at the time of landing permit, so whenever student get offer letter and make the payment of the first semester, then student need to provide again passport, all scanned pages. Now here not first and last page, all pages, scanned document of the passport we need to provide to the university. Latest issued birth certificate, which we need to apostille, means we have to legalize from the embassy. Then police clearance certificate, PCC, which you can apply online to the passport office and you can get it in just a few hours. Medical fitness certificate from any MBBS doctors in your area. First installment of fee payment, swift copy. So whenever you make the payment, you will get swift copy. That swift copy we need to send to the university, and university will give you the receipt for that payment. And here we need 15 photographs. 15 photographs. Okay, it is not specific size, just passport size photograph, but number is 15. Sponsorship letter. Yes, Lalit sir.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. So let me finish this. All right, we'll come to you. Thank you. Thanks for the joining meeting.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So after that, sponsorship letter, which should be on the 100 rupees stamp paper, with the ID proof of the parents, that is a PAN card or maybe Aadhaar card. Then statement, bank statement or bank letter or both with required, and minimum amount we need to show for the visa purpose, that is 8,000 $8,000, which is approximately equal to 6 lakh rupees in Indian currency. So we need only nationalized bank. So you have to open account, maybe joint account with the parents or student account if he's 17 plus, and then you have to put this much amount. There is no any criteria. It should be 1 month old or 6 month old. Even you can put money today and tomorrow you can get a certificate, and that is valid for the landing permit and visa purpose. A signed landing permit application form will provide you the application form. You need to sign, student need to sign, and if the student is below 18, parents also have to sign along with the student. Then for Netherlands visa, again, passport original. Now we send only scan copies in these two process. But now third step, whenever we are going for the Netherlands visa, you need original passport, original 10th and 12th statement of marks, then signed fee structure and fee receipt, bank statement of $8,000, which is approximately equal to 6 lakh rupees in Indian currency. Even 1 day old is fine. Sponsorship letter from the parents, PAN card and Aadhaar card of the parents. Then insurance of about $50,000 face value. It will cost about say 7,000 rupees, not more than that. Then dummy flight ticket, and later from the St. Martinus University, which university will provide to us and will provide to you. Then visa type. Yes, again, this is the question from the parents and student. What kind of visa we required and when we will apply for the visa. From India, you have to apply for the landing permit. University will apply. You don't need to do anything. Only you have to provide the documents to us, and definitely we'll get it done. 100% you will get it. It takes 4 to 6 weeks from the government of Curaçao. And the Netherlands visa issued by the Netherlands embassy, where will help you in the application and preparing student for the interview. And there is 100% success rate for this visa as well. Once student go to the Curaçao, then student will apply for the residency permit issued by government of the Curaçao, that is called Schedula. And then after finishing MD4, and whenever student will be ready to fly to US for clinical rotations, that time university will apply for the B1 visa, and there is also 100% success rate. We have hundreds of the visas of the student, those are doing their clinical rotations at our Pontiac General Hospital in USA, Michigan. And then from USA, whenever student finish, so whenever they go for the residency, they need to apply for the J1 visa. Definitely the hospital where they will do the residency, they will get a residency. The hospital will help them in J1 application. And after that, to practice as a physician in USA, they will get H1B visa. Then, yes, I hope this is pretty much clear from my end. And there are many people that are asking about the what is about post MBBS. So I invite here Lalit sir. Lalit sir is there and he is working on this project from long time. Lalit sir, can you please speak about the post MBBS admission and procedure?
Sure. So what we're working on right now, and we've been working for almost a year and a half on this project, that there's a lot of MBBS graduates in India who are looking for an opportunity to go do something further and get a diploma maybe from one of the developed countries like US or UK. And I see that there is a huge demand that students, whenever we go for, those seminars and info sessions, they always ask to, if there's some sort of a specialization or diploma course that they can do. So we came up with this is a great advantage for us to have a great combination of a hospital and a medical college, a university that we can design our own programs, and looking at the demand of how students are or graduates are approaching and trying to find out what is it that they could do after MBBS. We had a committee meeting and which decided that we can do some diploma programs for the graduates after MBBS/MD. So these diploma programs are year and a half, and depending on the specialization as well. It includes the USMLE preparation. USMLE is the licensing exams that you have to take and pass to practice in the US. And we have professors who are teaching the licensing courses, and that is done with the rotations that you're going to be doing it. Rotations meaning that the training that you are getting from the attending physicians or physicians who are practicing there, just to get a better understanding of the US healthcare system. Because when you are here, you have to kind of undo in terms of how the system works in India and how the system works here. It's totally different. So you have to know how to document things properly. You have to know what are the questions that you can ask, what are the questions that you cannot ask, and because of legal reasons, and how to, because all those documents, everything that goes to the insurance company and then for reimbursement, and it's a very lengthy process. But I mean, once you know that, and it's very short and it's very simple and straightforward. And all those rotations are done at Pawnee General Hospital or its affiliated medical centers, which is again Michigan. And it's a very intense training program, and it has its own value. It's not just for the sake of diploma. Of course, it adds a value to your resume or /CV, however you want to put it as. But it has its great value that you're learning at a hospital, a teaching hospital that already has residency programs, and where doctors are already being trained. So, and of course, but you have finished your MBBS, and so kind of you're going to be at the same level, but they have already done their clinical rotations in the system, so they are a little ahead of that. But to catch up with that, the very friendly atmosphere, everybody helps everybody, and if there's any question, you can talk to your resident doctors and our attending physicians when they ask you questions. You can set up a meeting with the residents, the program director, to find out if you want to apply for residency in the US, what are the things that you should do, what are things that you should not do in your residency application. And he's very friendly. He's pretty much available to answer any questions almost every day, unless there is a very busy day, he has to go see too many patients, and or there's something that's going on that he has to attend first, because ultimately he's a doctor and he has to make sure that he is saving lives first before he attends those questions, and anything that can be taken care of after a few hours or probably in a day. And a lot of students have asked about what is the guarantee that you will be able to do your residency in the US after this program. So there's two ways to look at it. So a lot of graduates just want to do it and go back to India and have it on their CV or something to advertise that they did their postgraduate diploma from the US. And just to we know how things work in India, but a lot of people who cannot leave India because of social or financial ties, and they have to stay there with the family and whatever the business is that they already have, they're established. And so for those, this is a good option. The second thing is that students who want to practice in the US, this is a great program for those who want to practice in the US, because it includes the preparation of USMLE exams, and it's going to include a very intense training of how resident doctors work in the US. Medical students do not get those a lot of things that you guys are going. I mean, somebody who enrolls in the PG program will get to do, because there is a limitation of how they work, and they're going to be given more tasks and more things that you can learn, and they're still learning, and they're still learning how doctors work. But you guys already have, I mean, somebody who enrolls in a PG program has already finished the MBBS, so they already know a lot more than somebody who knows as a MBBS student. The other, I would like to answer any questions, if there are any questions about the PG program.
Yes, we'll ask the question. We'll take question answer session later on.
Okay.
Let me finish the PPT. Yes, this is the clear picture of the Pontiac General Hospital, and it is located in Michigan, where students can complete their clinical clerkship, and again students can go and take clinical experience here. Even post MBBS students can complete their rotation in this hospital. All right. And this is like residency in USA here. This is the old data, but now I think is the slots are increased. Here you can see last year there were like 29,000 residency spots available in the USA. Out of that, 18,000. Out of that, 18,000 were for the local student, for American student, and 11,000 slots were available for international students. So now this year, definitely these slots are increased. Lalit sir, can you put some light on this? How many slots are available for foreign medical graduates now?
Sure, sir. So the number of slots have definitely increased, and it's about 30,000 now. And the match rate, when I say match rate, it's over 57 or 58%, and this is the highest in the last 25 years. So this year's data, they accepted a lot of international medical graduates into residency programs. So match rate is a candidate applies to at a hospital for residency program, and when they get an interview call, an appointment, the process is called an application, applying for residency, and when they get it, it's called match, that they have matched into the program. That's what it means by a match. So the match rate was 58%, which is a very good success rate for a lot of international medical graduates, because that almost 1 on 2 is matching into the program. So a lot of, let's say for example, 100 candidates applied for that, and 58 got accepted, which is very high for US. And all those students are and those are the students who have some sort of US healthcare experience. And I think I read an article about it as well. I had it somewhere in my presentation as well, but not this one. Probably a PG presentation brochure, that anybody who did their clinicals in the US or had some sort of clinical rotations experience or any observership or any experience in the US was given preference over somebody who were just coming from out of just an MBBS school or MBBS college, and has just passed USMLE step 1 and step 2. And because I had this conversation with one of the program directors here as well, and I asked him as to who would you prefer if you had two candidates who have done some sort of rotations or observership in the US, and then applying for the program residency position. he said that I would definitely go for somebody who has done some sort of health, US health, I mean, sorry, clinical rotations, or has some sort of exposure. Because I would not, he said, I would not go for somebody who is just coming out of Indian healthcare system, or not just Indian or any other healthcare system, because it's hard for me to undo what they have learned in the others, in any other system. And then they're very reluctant, unless that they are here for a family situation with the family, and those are the only graduates that he said I have seen that improving, but it's hard. So he as a program director can give me more insight, or anybody, I mean, of course, anybody who's applying for residency can give us more insight on how residency program directors look at the application. So again, the number of spots are increasing. US is not opening a lot of US medical schools. It's not even opening medical schools. And a lot of international medical graduates are applying, and they're getting the opportunity to do observership or clinical rotations in the US. And with that, it's a great advantage and it just also increases the probability that you're going to be able to work in the US as a doctor. And this is the reason why St. Martinus University's graduates get into residency very quickly. I don't think there is anybody as of today who has finished, education with St. Martinus University and has passed step 1 and step 2 and is not a resident doctor or a practicing doctor in the US, UK, Canada, Holland, Germany, or India. We have graduates working in 6 countries, but if you talk about US particularly, there is not even a single graduate who finished education and passed step 1 and step 2 and is not doing a residency or is practicing in the US.
So this is a real picture of the residents. Those are in Protect General Hospitals completing their residency. Yes, now we'll talk about the fee structure. This is a fee structure of Curaçao plus USA. First, you need to pay 9,400 whenever you are getting acceptance letter from the university. And after that, university will apply for the landing permit. After getting landing permit, you need to pay 6,850. That is the second installment. Along with that, you need to pay 4,650 per year. That is a living cost. That is living cost. And then next year, 12,850. Again, next year, 12,950. And fourth year is 12,950. So altogether, it's like 55,000. Total cost is 55,000. And apart from that, immigration fee plus insurance and visa fee, whatever you need to pay to the third party. And to university, again, you need to pay the cost for the scrub and lab coat. So which is approximately, when we convert in Indian currency, it is 38 lakhs and 50,000. But here there is a beauty, like this university is having own hospital. So after completion of the program, student will go for the clinical rotation. After completion of the clinical rotation, student have to do the hard work, and if they pass USMLE step 2, they can get a residency. And while doing residency means PG. Many students, they ask question, can we get postgraduate admission after completion of MD program from St. Martinus University? The answer is yes. Yes, if you are hard worker and if your score in USMLE is very good, and yes, again, your personality is a very good personality, in the sense, yes, if you are cooperative in the manner, and if you are liking person to the other all, then definitely there is no any hurdle in getting residency. And for residency, you don't need to pay anything. In USA, if you are going for the master's degree, you don't need to pay anything. But yes, you will get a stipend of 50,000, minimum $50,000 per year. So it is like, say, you can survive there, and you can look after your expenses, and again, you can get education as well. And after that, there is step 3. So only if you are hardworking and if you have confidence on yourself, definitely there is nothing is impossible, and all the doors will be open, and most of the student, they can get residency because the seats are available. This is what about the Curaçao. Few pictures. Shopping center, then temple, Indian temple is there in Curaçao. Yes, all the religious places are available. Beautiful beaches are available. You will not get bored. Lot of places for the entertainment are available. And yes, this is what many students are asking us. So what you will support us? So we provide all these services. Overseas admission, your application process will assist you. We provide you the career guidance and counseling. We have qualified counselors, so they will provide you the guidance, which university or which course is suitable to you. Guidance for things to carry abroad, what things you need to carry with you. So we'll give you the list as per the requirement of the university, so that you will not miss anything. And again, from there you need to call your parents, so I need this, and they need to pay a huge amount for the courier and all. University fee payment, yes, we'll guide how to transfer money to the other country, maybe in the university account. Visa application and visa interview preparation, yes, we take care of this, and there is 100% success rate for the visas in case of the Netherlands, and landing permit as well. Scholarship guidance, yes, we do provide. Also, we conduct the scholarship test, and scholarship is available for the Indian student, and Indian students can get up to 10 lakh rupees scholarship. It depends on the score in the scholarship test examination. And second thing, there are many scholarships whenever you go to the university and you show your performance. If your GPA is 3 plus or 3.5 plus, then definitely there are scholarships. You can check the brochure. In the brochure, the scholarships are mentioned. Forex card and money transfer abroad. Yes, many students, they ask how we can carry currency and how we can convert the currency in the local currency. Yes, we do help. We have the tie-up with the agencies, and we can help you in this as well. Guidance for flight ticket booking and airline baggage. So how much baggage you need to carry, how much you can carry, and if you need something extra luggage, so how much you need to pay. So all that guidance from our end we provide to the student. Then visa extension and immigration guidance. Yes, definitely we do provide how to extend your visa. Now there are many problems because of the COVID-19 situation. And immigration guidance, whenever you go to any of the country, so you need to clear the border immigration. That time, what questions that immigration officer can ask you and how to reply, what all documents you need to keep handy, and what all documents you need to show to the immigration officer to get entry in the country. That guidance also we provide you. Guidance for the bank account opening and getting tax number in the foreign country, that we provide to you. Second, airport pickup and drop arrangement, yes, we do. We also assist you for the education loan, getting education loan, and assistance for the accommodation arrangement in abroad. Many students, they come to us, sir, now I want, like say, single accommodation, single occupancy accommodation, double occupancy accommodation. And yes, definitely we communicate with the university and we help to the students. Yes, again, there is an offer from the hospital and university. If somebody is willing to visit the university or hospital, definitely whenever international flights will start, so we can send invitation to the parents and student, and they can get a visa, they can go and they can see the facilities. So that facility is also available for our Indian parents and students. These are a few of the students. Those are already in Curaçao. These are the students. They completed their MBBS and they are now in contact in the hospital.
My name. Medicine for me is not just a profession, it's a lifestyle. And we all have our own reasons for choosing this difficult yet most rewarding profession. A profession where one gets paid in terms of gratitude for helping others live a better and healthy life. Coming from a non-medical background, it was very important for me and my parents to make a wise decision in terms of choosing the right medical school. And I decided to join in St. Martinus University because I wanted to pursue my career in the United States. When you're in med school, it's very important for you to be able to give your exams on time and study efficiently. And thanks to all our professors who helped us through and constantly motivated us and encouraged us. The amount of exposure that I've received here during my clinical clerkship and the interaction that I had with the patient is commendable. Our attendings are highly professional and they always encourage us to ask questions and participate in group discussions. With the amount of exposure that I've received here, I'm confident to do much better in the future.
Hello, my name is Jenalee Misko. I'm a third-year medical student here at Pontiac General Hospital. I came from St. Martinus, and I can honestly say going to school on a little island to pursue my medical career had me a little nervous. But getting there, meeting the teachers, seeing other students, it was a great experience. It was nice having small class sizes so the teachers really got to know you and help you one-on-one if you needed it. The campus was great with all the different student activities, student groups. They really do a great job of trying to include everyone and making sure you get to know and experience the island. It's a beautiful place that you'll fall in love with when you go to school there.
Yes, I think now this is the time for the question and answer. So Kundan, can you please take it forward?
Yes, sure, sir. So there are many questions regarding for the MBBS. First question is for student asking, is NEET score compulsory for admission?
Yes, Lalit sir, please.
So the NEET score is not compulsory if you do not want to come back to India and practice there. It is compulsory by Medical Council of India that you qualify for the NEET counseling if you want to do MBBS from a foreign medical university and come back to India to take your MCI screening test and practice in India.
Okay, thank you, sir. For next question is, does university provide scholarship for Indian students and how much is the scholarship?
So the scholars, every year university, decides the budget or a scholarship grant for the Indian students, American students, Canadian students, or it's approximately 2 crores altogether for Indian students, and it can vary from 1 lakh to 10 lakhs for Indian students, depending on how they perform on the scholarship test.
So the next question is, if student do not have NEET score, will that have impact on his visa decision? Please confirm.
No, that embassies do not really have any decisions based on, they don't make any decision based on where you want to practice. It's up to you. If you want to practice in the US, you don't want to take your NEET score, they don't really care about it. But at the same time, you also have to make sure that you're good at communication. You speak good English, you are able to understand and answer the questions that they ask. So they don't care about the NEET course again, but you also have to make sure that the student speaks a good English and understands as well.
Okay. So next question is, how students can get residency?
How students can get residency is the process that we help them and we guide them through the program, and even after they pass their exams. After they finish their MBBS and have passed, after they pass US Assembly Step 1 and Step 2, they fill out a residency application online through a system which is called ERAS. And with that system, they apply to different hospitals, choosing the specialization they would like to go in. For example, somebody wants to go for family medicine, somebody wants to go for a general surgery. Then that when you apply, fill out an application, you can pick and choose your hospital and states where you want to apply for residency and what kind of residency you would like to go for. So all of that's a process, and we help the students to kind of get familiar, understand that how to fill out the application, what are the documents that they need to. Although it's very organized and structured, that once you start your application, and once you start filling it out, it asks you all the questions that you need to answer and the documents that you need to upload with your residency application.
Thank you, sir. For next question is, our next intake will be offline or online?
So it really depends on the international traveling situation, but we are prepared for an online session. So and if that does, for any reason the students cannot travel, they do not have to waste the time to wait for the next semester. They can apply now, and the academic team is working really, really hard on delivering the online lectures and doing all the quizzes and tests online, and with the system that we have, and it's working really, really well so far. And we also have to make sure that we're also using different online teaching methods that are more effective for our medical students to learn more through the lectures and quizzes and tests and exams, and whatever help or an assignment, whatever helps the students memorize and understand the concepts better.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, what is the procedure of post-graduation for someone who has already done MBBS in India?
So there is a checklist, just like an MBBS admission. There is a checklist for the PG admission program as an application, and you submit a copy of your MBBS degree, where you did it from, and if you are a licensed physician, and if you have taken or passed any of the USMLE exams or any similar licensing exams besides Indian exam, and if you have traveled to the US, you have a valid visa. There is a checklist of questions and documents that you have to submit with your application to for the PG program.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, what happens to rest who does not get selected in matching process?
Well, if that does not happen, then we need to look at the reasons as to why that person did not match. And I will tell you, so that's a very good question, and I can share a story based on that. There is a student, and not our student, because we have a hospital here, so we have students pretty much from different US schools and different schools as well. So there is a guy who had scored in 250s on USMLE Step 1 and Step 2, but he was very arrogant, and because nobody ever told him, and it's important that parents, this is how parents and parents' role comes into the picture, that parents also have to make sure that if the school is saying something, they do not defend the fact that, oh, our child cannot do this at all because we have raised the child. Parents also need to understand that the child is not the same person in front of when the parents are not there. And we all know that. I mean, we have gone through this stage, and everybody has passed this stage, that we are not the same person when our parents are not there. So why do you not believe the fact that the child or a boy or a girl will be the same person and with the same behavior when the parents are there? So if we can build that understanding, and that goes a long way. And if the parents do not really care about it, that definitely affects their career. They become more arrogant. They don't, respect the system. They don't respect the elders. They don't respect the professors. And they may be great at academics. They may be doing really, really well. But at the end of the day, if they are not able to work with, the people around them, and they think they're the superior, then it's hard for them to get into any residency or any job. I mean, we all are working professionals. And if you have somebody who is arrogant, who does not even respond properly and thinks he is the smartest person on the planet, would you ever work with the person? The answer is no. You would rather work with somebody who is average, who is a good team player, and who listens and responds respectfully and is a pleasant person to work with. The same concept applies for residency as well. you can be scoring extremely high, but if you do not learn the basic mannerism, and you know that, and we teach all of that, and we tell them that, and Dr. Barada is really great at it. And if you, and I will give him, a lead on that to explain how we train our students during the clinical, integrated clinical medicine sessions, and how they learn how to behave, and how to, what are the do's and don'ts. And I would like give it to Dr. Barada to explain this, so that, all of you understand how we train our students and how it really impacts and how it affects the residency application and when they go in for the residency.
Sure. So thank you for that, Lalit. So as I mentioned before, we have a unique integrated program. I'm the professor of integrated clinical medicine. So that's very important. It's what I call a bridge program or a pivot program, because I take the basic science knowledge that the students are acquiring in MD1 to MD4, and at every MD phase, they come into the lab on campus, and I turn that into a transitional experience for them to now use their knowledge in a physician mindset. And yes, there are training parameters that we utilize. For example, there's a certain way to approach a patient, whether the patient is really infirm, in a chronic or an acute condition. There's certain questions you have to ask. There's a certain demeanor you have to ask it in a certain way. And there's a certain posture of respect and presentation that you have to demonstrate in order for you to qualify to graduate my program. ICM is probably the most critical program where it takes the knowledge acquired, and now I turn them, I shape them, I mold them into physicians to be ready to utilize at PGH or any other clinical rotation setting. I am like the potter. You give me the clay and I will turn them into physicians. Now, when they get to the rotation, they will not only have a base of knowledge, but they will have the clinical acumen and the skills to take care of a real life patient. The reinforcement that we employ at our campus is we have a list, a roster of standardized patients that come into the lab. The student has never met that patient. The patient, as a mock patient, by the way, the mock patient is trained on what type of symptoms they're going to communicate, what type of ailment that they have, and the student, through critical thinking analysis, has the opportunity to get to that endpoint in helping that patient. So we have really very structured program and allows them the confidence and the competence when they leave here. At least I know, and I'll feel good that when they go to PGH or any other rotation, that they are able to receive any challenge clinically that they're going to get in that experience.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, we all know that MBBS is very expensive in countries like USA, UK, Australia, Canada. How can we compare the MBBS in St. Martin's University? Will that degree have the same value as in other countries?
Okay, so, and we get this question all the time, and the best way for us to explain this, that it's not just a medical school. I mean, there is a philosophical story behind it, and it's a real story. So we came into the picture in 2011, although the school has been operational since 2003. But we came into the picture with a lot of emotional investment and how to do things the right way. Although, I mean, you would definitely, you all have gone through several experiences and heard stories about foreign medical schools in Russia, China, and even other countries. But we have invested ourselves into this institution that the comparison is difficult. But yes, in terms of infrastructure and the teaching faculty and the facilities and how we train better is something that, yes, we can talk about it, but there is no comparison. We do not compare ourselves because we're in a very unique situation, because we have a great faculty, great professors, the campus is great, we provide food, we take care of our kids, and we take care of our everything that our students need. Plus now we have a hospital in the US that adds great value to their education that any other medical school does. I mean, yes, if we're talking about the US and Canadian medical schools, yes, I mean, they all have those affiliations and campuses and different. But if you're talking about a non-US or Canadian school, that we're in a very unique situation, and we do not compare ourselves because of several reasons, and the several great things that we offer for our students. And our students have been able to being able to secure residencies and pass steps and pass exams, just because the teaching methods and how dedicated our faculty members and professors are to our students is something that you can only experience and learn from our students. So if somebody wants to speak with a student or a professor, we can arrange that call, and then you can compare yourself. Because if I say something that we're the best, and it makes it look like that we're selling education that we don't want to make it look like. So I would leave that up to the parent to decide how they compare us or with any other, based on the knowledge and information that you gather from one of the admission advisors or the dean or professor or anybody from the school.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, how much is the passing percentage is in SMU? If student want to go for next level, then how much minimum percentage should student has to score?
Okay, it's a very subjective question. It depends on if you're talking about USMLE. In the past 2 years, 100% students who have been able to pass the NBME exams, and NBME exams are the assessment tool exams for students to find out how they're doing and how prepared they are for US. Anybody who has scored a qualifying score of 70 on NBME has passed 100%. So it really depends. It's a very subjective question. If you're talking about the Indian exam, the MCI screening test. So we have had 2 graduates who wanted to come back to India and take it. Both the graduates have passed the MCI screening test. So it's very subjective to ask what is the passing percentage of SMU. We can talk about or break it down to countries where our graduates are practicing for sure, and then we can answer that. But in general, it's a great program. We have a very dedicated professor, faculty, and the education is available, it's safe, and the food is available. It's a good food, because when I go there, I eat from the cafeteria, and I absolutely love it. I don't miss the food, because when you're going to a different country and different place, and if you don't get the food that you like, then it makes it a little bit harder for you to concentrate and focus on whatever you're doing there. So the passing percentage, and then what is the passing percentage you need to get admission into the school? It depends on what state board you're coming from. For CBSE, I would say it's 60, 65%, or even 70% is good. But if you're coming from a state board, you definitely should have at least 75% or 80%.
Thank you. So next question is, does student has to pay extra charges for USMLE preparation?
No, they don't. It's all part of the program. There is no extra fees for USMLE preparation at all, or any. So even USMLE preparation, when you're preparing for USMLE, it also prepares them for the Canadian exams. It also prepares them for UK exams. So there is no fee. It's part of the program, and how they learn from the beginning prepares them for USMLE. So they don't have to go and take an extra course for that. It's part of the curriculum, and the way it is designed, it's just like how medical schools, run in the US and Canada.
Thank you, sir. So next question is, how many students from SMU get residency program admission in USA?
As I said, anybody and everybody who has passed USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 has secured a residency and is a residency doctor or is either a residency doctor or a practicing physician today in the US.
The next question is, what is the next step for someone who has already done MBBS in India and has filled up the application of SMU? Which level will they join?
Sorry, I didn't understand. So they have finished MBBS in India. And they
has filled up the application of SMU. Which level will they join?
No, basically student completed their MBBS from India and they're asking to go for the PG, not SMU. Postgraduate program or residency program is not in St. Martinus University, and that is available in Pontiac General Hospital in Michigan.
Thank
right.
you. How many students are currently studying in SMU?
1 second. Yeah, for that purpose, you need to approach to your nearest branch office. You need to speak with the student advisor and will explain you the procedure. You will not go for again UG course, whereas you can go for our PG course where you can complete your preparation for USMLE Step 1, Step 2. You can clear your clinical assistance as well, and then you can go for the residency. This is what program we are having for the doctors those already completed their MBBS from India. Yes, Kundan, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. How many students are currently studying in SMU, and what is the success rate to clear USMLE 1 in first attempt?
So the first attempt, if you look at the average that we have since we took over in 2011, the average is 94%. And we have about 700, no, I would say at this point we have 550 students approximately, but not everybody wants to go to the US. You have to see that because we have students coming in from UK, Canada, and other countries who just go back to their own countries. And recently we had students who were inquiring about, filing for residency application in the UK. So there's a lot, not everybody wants to go to the US. So you have to look at this. If somebody's coming from England, they're happy in England. They want to go back to England and practice there. So it's very hard to tell you that whether everybody's taking USMLE or not. But yes, the overall average is 94% in the first attempt.
Thank you, sir. The student is having US visa B1, B2, need Curaçao visa or landing permit to enter in Curaçao?
Well, yes, if you need you just need a landing permit. You don't need a Curaçao visa if you have a valid US visa that is valid for at least 6 months from the day you're flying. So if you are flying for, like, say, in September, I would say that you at least have a validity of the US visa up until March next year. And you don't need a visa. So Curaçao allows you to visit Curaçao if you have a valid US or Canadian visa that is valid for up to at least 6 months from the day you travel to Curaçao.
Yes, let me add something. Even if you are having Schengen visa, then also you can enter into the Curaçao. So either US visa B1, B2 or even Schengen visa will allow you to enter in the Curaçao. Yes, Kundan, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Anyone have question? Ram, sir, you have any question?
Yeah, I have a question for Dr. Barata. Sir, we are following US curriculum. In US, it takes around 8 years to complete the curriculum. In UK, it takes around 6 years to complete the curriculum. In India, it is almost 5.5 years. But in SMU, it is 4.5 years. So how we manage that? This is the questions that many students and parents are asking me.
Okay, so the curriculum that we have in Curacao is exactly that what they go through in the United States. I graduated college, 4-year college program. The traditional pathway is after college in the US, you go to 4 years of medical school. That's what I did. So it's patterned right after the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're asking that question, and I can probably add something to it. Ramji, if you look at the duration of the curriculum, and the medical schools teach what you need to what you need to know about the human body, and there's a lot of schools, and also there is no concept of internship in the Western countries. So technically, the question comes to and that how is it compared to a 4.5 degree? We provide a 4.5 year program versus a 4.5 degree program in 5.5 in India. So technically, they're there for 4.5 years. 1 year is an internship. Is that right? So
Yeah.
and so it's 4.5 versus 4.5. It's not 5.5 versus 4.5. There's no concept of internship here. You finish your education, and they have made it more clinical oriented, that you get more experience in a clinical setting, meaning hospital or doctor's office, that you learn more and know how to apply your knowledge more. It's not like that you're only studying and you don't know where you're applying your knowledge to. And we know that, and it's a very evidence-based study, and you know that how you diagnose your problem. And we know that, let's just be honest about it. And because I was born and raised in India, and I lived at least 24 years of my life in India, and even the situation, my parents are still there, my brothers, all my family members are still there. And we know how the situation is. If we go to a doctor, they don't follow a protocol. They just, they would just give you a medication, antibiotics, without knowing that you need antibiotics. You just go to a chemist or a pharmacy shop, you get your antibiotics just over the counter, and there's no process for that. But things are not the same here. You have to follow protocols. You have to know how to do it. So if you do learn things the right way, it adds more value to your career and how you see things, how you and again, it's a very intense training. But in India, the passing percentage is 50%. The passing percentage here is 70%. So they're technically learning more than an Indian medical graduate. But yes, I mean, Indian medical graduates are really good. Indian doctors are really good. But most of the good doctors leave the country. They are either practicing in the US or Canada, all the developed countries. They don't get to stay there. I'm not saying that we don't have good doctors in India, but still, the shortage of good doctors in India is huge. And whenever we go there and there's something serious about it, we have to go for, it's kind of an amendment, we don't trust the system as much as we would trust for somebody who has graduated from US or Canada or somebody. We know that we would rather go to a doctor, go see a doctor who finished their education from US and Canada or UK. You know that, right? Because we always see that what the credentials are. Oh, they studied from UK, go to that doctor. Why? Because they're in the same. They did the same 4 years of program. They did not go for 5.5 years of program, but we have more trust in the system because they do things the right way, and they know if they have to prescribe a diagnostics. For example, X-ray or a CT scan or MRI. They would do it. I'm not talking about the hospitals, because hospitals have to make money and they just prescribe tests anyways. Just do it. But if there's something serious, we go to a doctor who did their MBBS or MD from UK or US. Again, it's a question of, when it comes to our health, we go for somebody who graduated from US or finished their education from US or UK. But when it comes to sending our children, we look at the duration, and it's a very Indian mindset, and of course I have that too, that we believe in longer hours of training. We don't believe in a quality training. But now things are changing with the new generation coming in, and we also have to look at how quality training it is, what you're learning in 6 hours versus how much you're learning working for 14 hours in a different system, you'd rather go for 6 hours of quality training as opposed to you go for 14 hours of training that you're still not 100% sure about what you're going to do after that. And you don't know how to diagnose the problem. You don't know what kind of medications to prescribe. What kind of a training is that? So it's a questionable training system as well. And just because of the resources that are available, and I know that the Indian medical system and the healthcare system, they're working really, really hard on basically improving the system. But again, there is no comparison between Indian and the US healthcare system. So the training is not comparable. I would have loved to answer that question, but if you look at all the facts and look at how the training is done in the US and versus in India, there's a huge gap. So it's hard to compare the duration of the program between US and Indian healthcare system.
Yes, thank you, Ravi.
Okay, Lalit, thanks.
Add something.
Thanks.
Yeah. Pandey sir, one more thing, like see, in USA or in other countries and many countries, you can find a PG of 2 years, and in UK or maybe in Australian universities and New Zealand university, masters is like 1 year. Okay, so you can check like say credits. So 120 credits if you are doing and you are getting master degree, that is valid. Similarly here for the bachelor degree, 360 credits are required. Even most of the Georgian universities, they write like say you can complete your MBBS in 6 years or 5 years. Because if you learn more, if you spend more time, then you will cover more credit, say 72 credit in a year instead of 60 credits. And then you can complete your program in say 5 years. So here students are working hard, they are spending more time. That's the reason the credit, whatever they are gaining, the same credit they are gaining in 4.5 years. Yes, sir, please.
Got it, sir. Got it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So what is the classroom size? How many students are there in a single class?
Well, the average classroom size, I would say we have 30, 35. And the maximum that we have ever had is 55. I mean, there was a batch of 100-some students, but it was divided into different batches. So we don't go for a very high number of students per class just because, we have to make sure that there is a proper interaction between a professor and students, and they know who the students are in the class. It's not just a number that is sitting there, and it's a name and an individual that the professors recognize. That's why we keep our classes short.
Thank you,
sir. Yeah.
So my next question is, after completion of MD program, can student practice in USA?
When you say MD, is it an Indian MD or the MD that St. Martinus University offers? We're talking about the graduation or?
No, not graduation. Sorry. After completion of 4.5 years.
4.5 years of MBBS/MD program. Okay. So with that, you can do a residency. So for you to practice in the US, you have to have a specialization. You can be a general medicine, physician, or whatever the specialty that student, a graduate would want to go, a medical student graduate. But you have to have a specialization, and you get paid during specialization. In India, you get paid like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. I don't know. I mean, how much it is, but that's what I've heard from, because I have some friends who are physicians in India too. But here you get approximately $50,000 per year for training, and it increases by 10 to 15% in the second year, and then it increases, and even towards the end of third year, you can actually work more, and you can earn more money. But after you have a license, then the minimum that I'm hearing these days is about that $250,000 for just for a general physician, which is approximately 1.5 crores. And if you're a surgeon, then I don't even know. I can't even count that many. They are making millions of dollars, to be honest.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Amol, do you have any questions?
Well, I guess majority of the questions have been covered, but still, I'd like to, have a more emphasis from sir with regards to the safety and security in the premises, see, in today's scenario, though you have explained everything clearly, in today's scenario, parents are more worried about the safety concerns of the child, because child is maybe 18 to 19 years old. So they are a bit concerned. So if you can just throw some light, though it has been covered, I'll still emphasize if you can just throw some light on that.
Sure. Amol, the security and the safety is as important for us as the education part of the student life for us. We have protocols in place that, first of all, we have only left one entry and exit gate, so that everybody knows that that's the only gate and that you can get out or come in from through. After 8 o'clock in the evening, the gate gets closed, and after that there is a attendance by the ward or somebody on campus to make sure that everybody is on campus, and we do not allow our students to go beyond 8 o'clock unless they have a written permission from the parent, and we verify via a phone call and make sure that the email that was sent to us was actually by the parent, because it has happened in the past that student created the father's email and then they sent it to us just for the written information. And that this is the age when they do these kind of things. But we also learned that we could not take it, so we called, or we have to tell this we also tell the student to have your parent call us on this number between these hours, so that we know for sure that you have a permission, and can only be a phone number that they have given us at the time of registration. It cannot be just any phone number, because it could be a brother's number or a friend's phone number that they have. They could have called the student coordinator or administrator on campus. So it has to come from a number that is registered with the school and was on the application form. So they cannot just come up with a new number and they can have anybody call. So we take all those measures and security measures to make sure that the student safety and is important. And we have cameras, surveillance cameras at the exit, in different wings, in courtyards, and wherever the students actually sit in an open area, we have cameras, and it's recorded and throughout 24/7.
Thank you, Lalit sir. So one more question is there. What are the minimum or maximum risks for the parents to be prepared for when they go for the medical education in St. Martin's University?
What are the, sorry, what I did miss that.
What are the minimum or maximum risks for the parents to be prepared for when they go for the medical education in St. Martin's University?
What are the risk? The risk, I would say, if you know that your child is not going to study, you're putting everything at risk. The child's time and effort and your, hard-earned money that you have earned through the career, working hard through your careers. If you know for sure that your son or daughter are going to study and serious about it, that's a conversation that you have to have with your children to make sure that they're not going to waste the money and they're going to dedicate their time and effort to becoming a doctor. Other than that, there is really no risk.
Thank you, Lalit sir. Over to Kamendra sir.
Sir, I have one question. Kamendra sir, I have one question for Lalit. Lalit,
Sure.
because here in St. Martin's, students need to score 70% for actually getting in the next semester, where in other universities it is 50%. So do we have students who are not able to score 70% and they are living midway?
So we have had this situation in the past, and we came to a conclusion that students who do not want to practice in US or Canada and want to go back, there was a requirement that we kind of reduced it to 50% on NBME, but it's not there anymore. Everybody has to pass with 70%, which is the highest standard considered by the US and Canadian healthcare system or medical education system. And since we follow that curriculum and we prepare our students for the same curriculum and with the same approach, we have made it mandatory for our students to pass with the minimum 70% required, because that way they can go anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the world, and pass any medical licensing exam and practice anywhere.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. And just know that the school is owned by an IITian, and if you know that somebody is running, and they also have a healthcare administration and a software company in Austin, Texas, and a hospital in here. We all know how IITians and IIMs work. So, and it's one of the examples that we also want to keep our standards high and train our students to a level where they can do anything and they can pass any exams regardless of the country or the place or the kind of the exam they try to attempt, and wherever they want to do in their life after that. So we have to make sure that we are preparing them with the highest standards possible, and which is eventually preparing them to practice anywhere in the world.
Lalit sir, I have one question basically. It is regarding to, the medical students require equipments as well as the books, and I guess they are quite expensive as well. So what type of provision do you have in the university premises so that, the student minimizes the cost on that?
Okay. So that's a very good question, Amolji, and then I would like to answer that a little bit more detail about it, or as much as I can detail give you about it. We do not encourage our students to buy more than what they need to buy as a basic stuff. For example, they need books for anatomy, histology, and physiology and pharmacology, just the basic stuff that they have to buy, which is again not very expensive. And of course, if you look at a medical education, then we provide them an online library. Our professors give them reliable resources of different organizations, and that you can trust on. And those are the articles and the study material that has been published after a lot of research and approval, and the same material that is being used by the US and Canadian medical schools as well. So we do not encourage our students to buy a lot of online library or journals or anything, because our professors work on that, and our professors also go through a regular training and go for certification, because for all of our professors to be on board, there is a requirement that they have to do continuous medical education credits. For that, they have to study, they have to do some sort of research, they have to attend those lectures, they have to stay updated on what's going on in healthcare industry. So that is why and of course, about the basic equipments, there's a list of basic equipments. For example, stethoscope, the reflex hammer and those kind of things. There is a list provided to all the students, which is not very expensive. And if you really look at it, the cost that comes into cost comes in the picture about the study material, it can be a lot, but we minimize it by providing them all the material that can be gathered from after a lot of research, and we know that it's a credible source that they can study and learn a lot from that. So, and again, we can get to ask that question a lot, but other than the books and the basic stuff, they don't really have to buy a lot of stuff. Again, it's like how good they are studying, how much time they're spending on learning and understanding the concept. Some students, and I'll give you an example on that. There is a student who recently scored in 260s in step 1 and step 2 within a year. And he is a student, I have never seen him buying any other books or any of the videos or subscribing for any channels or any of those training videos. All he did was focused on what was going on in the classroom and he came back and studied a little bit extra and then asked the right questions. It's a medical school study. I mean, it's not as easy as a high school or the 12th grade exam. It's definitely demands more than that. So you have to kind of understand. And of course, when the parents also have to know, and this is something that I would strongly advise, that do not give your children a lot of money for the study material or everything, because they may be using that money somewhere else, and you don't know that. So we advise that you either talk to the consultant, the education consultant, or directly talk to the university whether you should buy that material for your daughter or your son or not, whether it's going to be really useful for that or not. Because again, we have had those incidents where students ask their parents for $500 or $1,000 where they did not buy that material and they spent it somewhere else.
Yes, thank you, Lalit sir. I have one question for Dr. Barata.
Yeah.
Sir, I have seen the students, those score 50% in 12th standard, but they pass out from St. Martinus University with even 90% marks. So what tool you are using to motivate these students, and how you encourage them, and why there is a tremendous growth in their percentage? Please put light on this.
Sure. Well, I think if you take a student from a nominal level of performance and they go through our structured and augmented program, they're going to develop academically and also on a clinical level. So I remember I said to you before, our program, I give you a mathematical equation. Our program is 1 + 1 is 3. It's a synergistic result. The level of detail that we have integrated in our curriculum is superior. And the students are reflected in that in their performance, not only on an exam level, but also in a clinical level in our lab, and also performance in our clinical rotations.
So is there any, like, say, specific method you are using so that the student can understand that better?
Yes. So we have several components of the curriculum that are our core central. We have the standard lecture. We have PBL, which is problem-based learning environment, which is very unique. It allows the student to be engaged in a more formal structure and not only understand the concept, but to demonstrate the concept. Then we have small group learning facilitated by the students and presentations that the students have to comply with. Then we have an augmented program called AMBOSS, AMBOSS.com. It is an amazing augmentation to our standard curriculum. We drive and incorporate that AMBOSS into the standard curriculum that we offer on campus, and it does several things. It takes the material and puts it into a USMLE track. In the USMLE track, the student answers the questions with a lot of clinical data, and if they get the answer right, that's good. But the real benefit is if when they choose the wrong answer, we go into an analysis pattern to show them why they answered it incorrectly and how to change that to have a better outcome in the future. So we have a multifaceted approach on a curriculum level in our curriculum mapping that allows the student to perform optimally over time.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot. I think questions are, now there is no more question. Kundan?
Actually, there's one here I'd like to address. It says there a support mechanism or system available to minimize risks associated. For example, if a student develops an emotional challenge, is there any counseling? Yes, there is. We have 2 major programs that are excellent under the Student Services headline. We have a mentorship program where when new students come in, MDO, MD1, they are matched up with a faculty member. They develop a unique bond wherein support, guidance, mentorship, and advice is given. Also, we have an amazing certified school counselor who is available for the students. She lives on the island. She's Indian, US trained in counseling. Also, not only is she there to support the students through challenges that they may have, emotionally or student life involvement, she comes on campus to give them seminars. We have study skills, time management, how to acclimate to certain cultures in the world. Very full-based program that she offers on a regular level to the student body. So we do have that structure of support for the students.
Thank you, sir. Now I think everything is covered very well. I invite Amrita for the vote of thanks, and then we'll finish this program, today's webinar. Please, Amrita. Amrita, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please continue.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored and lucky to have this opportunity to give a vote of thanks. I would like to thank our CEO, Mr. Kamendra Datt, for organizing this webinar. And on behalf of Interedwise Education Pvt. Limited, it's my heartily thanks to our guests, Dr. Barata and Mr. Lalit Arora, for such a useful information. I must not forget to thanks to all the participants, associates for their valuable time, and also panelists and branch directors